A volcanic binge and its frosty hangover. Volcano dykes. How many times have we gone nature walks and seen things that were so lovely and we just couldn't explain them? This is from University of Heidelberg. Today's article. A major volcanic event could have triggered one of the largest glaciations in Earth's history. The Glaciers glaciation, which turned the Earth into a giant snowball approximately 580 million years ago. Researchers have discovered remnants of such a large igneous province that results from vast lava flows. Now, basaltic dikes with a newly determined age of 619 million years in Novilo-Nice in Tamaulipas, Mexico. Dark gray dikes cut whitish gneiss in the center of the images. A major volcanic event could have triggered one of the largest glaciations in Earth's history, the Glaciers glaciation, which turned the Earth into a giant snowball about 580 million years ago. Researchers from Heidelberg University and colleagues from Mexico have discovered remnants of such a large igneous province that resulted from vast lava flows. At that time, it extended over 3 continents, which today comprises the Earth's crust in parts of Mexico, North America, and Northern Europe. These basaltic eruptions must have covered an area of at least 1,000 kilometers in diameter. The results of the research were published in the journal Geophysics Research Letters. So you can imagine how huge the volcanic eruption must have been to cover all these areas. Volcanism is a natural process that releases the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide, CO2, into the atmosphere. Weathering of the silicate rocks on Earth's surface traps atmospheric CO2 and sequesters it in carbonated rocks. Quote, that guarantees long-term stability, averse temperature, surface conditions in comparison to the hostile environment of its cosmic neighbors, hot Venus and cold Mars, end quote, explains Professor Dr. Axel Schmidt of the Institute of Earth Sciences at Heidelberg University. Disturbances of this equilibrium, however, are known to have occurred throughout Earth's history. He says at the end of the Proterozoic eon, there were 3 worldwide glaciations. From space, the Earth would have resembled a snowball, he adds. Extreme volcanic outpourings resulted in so-called large igneous provinces could be responsible for these snowball Earth global glaciations. So they were caused by the extreme volcanic outpourings. When continental land masses break up, it causes a volcanic binge that also releases massive amount of CO2 into the atmosphere, which can cause short-term global warming. Then, however, the lava rock begins to weather. The weathering process is especially intense at tropical latitudes, and over timescales of millions to tens of millions of years, the weathered rocks can sequester sufficient carbon dioxide to plunge Earth's climate into an extreme ice age, Schmidt explains. The German-Mexican team, which includes researchers from the Centro de Investigación Científica y de Educación Superior de ENSEDA, CCS for short, studied basaltic dike rocks from the Novilo-Nice, the Mexican state of Tamaulipas. And these dikes are the roots of lava flows that have been long eroded. The research team demonstrates that dike rocks from Mexico are indistinguishable in their trace elements and isotopic composition to dated rocks from Canada and Norway. Moreover, the Heidelberg team was successful in retrieving microscopic middle grains of bad day light from the Mexican samples. Now, the bad day light exclusively crystallizes in magma and thus is a reliable indicator of the timing of volcanism. In this case, with the help of a high spatial resolution ion microscope at the Institute of Earth Sciences, the rare mineral was determined to be 619 million years old, and according to Professor Schmidt, this date perfectly matches the time when the rocks found in Canada and Norway were formed. The researchers speculate that the long-term climate effects of this large igneous province led to the Gaskir's glaciation approximately 40 million years later. Now the dikes, or dyke, you spell it with an I or a Y, it doesn't make a difference, in geological usage is the sheet of rock that is formed in a fracture in a pre-existing rock body. Dikes can either be magmatic or sedimentary in origin. Magmatic dikes from when magma flows into the crack, then solidifies as a sheet intrusion, either cutting across layers of rock or through a continuous mass of rock. Classic dikes are formed when sediment fills in a pre-existing crack. The magmatic dikes from volcano magma. An intrusive dike is an igneous body with a very high aspect ratio, which means that this thickness is usually much smaller than the other two dimensions. Thickness can vary from sub-centimeter scale to many meters, and the lateral dimensions can extend over many kilometers, even thousands. A dike is an intrusion into an opening, cross-cutting fissure, shouldering aside with other pre-existing layers or bodies of rock. This implies that a dike is always younger than the rocks that contain it. Dikes are usually high angle to near vertical in orientation, but subsequent tectonic deformation may rotate the sequence of strata through which the dike propagates so that the dike becomes horizontal. Near horizontal or conformable intrusions along bedding planes between strata are called intrusive sills. The term sheet is the general term for both dikes and sills. Sometimes dikes appear in swarms, consisting of several to hundreds of dikes and placed more or less contemporaneously during a single intrusion event. The world's largest dike swarm is the Mackenzie Dike Swarm in the Northwest Territories of Canada. So North Canada has, well, west towards Alaska, is the world's largest dike swarm, which means that that area is full of volcanoes. Dikes often form as either radical or concentric swarms around plutonic intrusive volcanic necks or feeder veins in volcanic cones. The later are known as ring dikes. And dikes can vary in texture, and their composition can range from diabase or basaltic or granite or rhyolitic. But on a global perspective, the basaltic composition prevails, manifesting ascent of vast volumes of mantle-driven derived magmas through fractured lithosphere throughout Earth's history. Pegmatite dikes comprise extremely coarse crystal granite rocks, often associated with late-stage granite intrusions or metamorphic segregations. Aplite dikes are fine-grained or sugary textured intrusions of granitic composition. The term feeder dike is used for a dike that acted as a conduit for magma. Magma flowed along, then out of the dike, then formed another feature. In contrast to magmatic dikes, a sill is a magmatic sheet intrusion that forms within and parallel to the bedding of layered rock. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.